The Keeper. This is Blake's 7, Series 2. We are 2 away. This is the second last episode of the entire Season 2. Overall, I love this entire series. It's my third favorite show of all time. This episode is definitely a weaker episode. We are going to talk about it using my space system, where every category in the space system gets a score between 0 and 2. So 2 is the best that you can get in any of these categories. Starting with the storyline, I'm going to give the storyline a 1. So 0 is garbage, 1 is good, 2 is amazing. I'm going to say it's good. I feel like the last 2 episodes could have been 1 episode. So the gist of it is that they're looking for the location of Star 1. Blake and his guys are looking for the location of Star 1, which houses the computer control, which controls everything: weather, communications, security, food. Like all of that stuff is controlled here by this one singular computer system. If they can find it and destroy it, that'll cripple the Federation big time. That's the main mission. Now, they've been following the trail of where the location is. There are scientists that work there. Their minds were either wiped or they're dead. So no one knows the location of it, but one of the guys hid a brain pattern in an amulet worn by someone on the planet Goth, which is basically sort of like Viking society, kind of. So they've got to land there and figure out who has it. The thing with the story is that there is progression. They do find the person who has the information. Travis gets the actual brain pattern, so he knows where Star 1 is, but they're able to find the guy and say a trigger word. And when he says this trigger word, this other guy explains where it is. That entire thing happens in the last like 5 minutes of this episode. That part is fine because you're like, oh, that was cool. The beginning is okay. It's the middle that's not that great, where Jenna is taken as a prisoner. Villa is also taken as a prisoner, and Villa becomes sort of the fool to the Shawl. The Shawl is like the king or the chief of the tribe, and he's one of the royals that potentially might have the location of Star 1. And Villa's just there to make fun of and do tricks for him, to be his, squire, not a squire, his jester, his fool. And Jenna's there to be his pairing partner or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay. And then there's just a lot of meandering around. And then Avon's not in it that much, which Avon's my favorite character. He's not really doing much. He goes to kill Travis. He thinks he's got a line on Travis. He goes to kill him, but Travis wasn't on that ship. Servalan is here. She's just pretty much in this room and just kind of hanging around. Like, I feel like Servalan's not doing anything. She's just there to be there. I feel like everyone is there to be there. That's the problem with it. It does further the story, but really, you could have just eliminated this episode and had the previous guy give the location of Star 1, and that would have been it, right? So that does affect the pacing, because I'm going to give the pacing a 1 as well. This episode feels a lot slower. A lot of the times there's a lot of tension going on with Blake 7. You're always like, ooh, and then something new gets introduced, like every so often, you're like, oh man, something, the plot changes, especially with the finale coming up. And you're just like, okay, this one is it's just what it is. Like, they got to figure it out, and then they figure it out, and then that's it. So, so far, this is going to definitely be the weakest one of the 2 series. It's probably one of the weaker ones of the entire show for me, just because it feels like a filler episode. But I'm not bored, but it's not exciting. That's what I'm getting at. For the artistry, I'll give it a 1.5. Everything looks good. I actually there's not too many locations, so I can't really give it any more than that. I probably shouldn't even really give it 1.5, but I do like the costumes, and I do like the weaponry. There's a point where the 2 brothers fight for who's going to be the new Shawl or the chief. And they wear these gauntlets and they chain each other up, and then their other hand is like a fist with a spike, and it's like a spiked glove. I'm like, well, that looks pretty cool. That looked good. The costumes were nice. There's some little effects here and there. There's like a dungeon that looks kind of good. It looks good. But it's not like gonna blow your socks off, but it looks really good for me. Yeah, some decent locations. For the characters, I'm gonna give it a 1.5 for the characters. Blake 7, Avon, the crew, they're amazing. Jenna is great in this one, dealing with this guy's advances to her. And she's kind of, rolls her eyes a couple times, like, okay. But, I couldn't get into the brother and the sister. They're okay. They just felt like, they didn't feel like real people. They just felt like caricatures of like, the witch woman and the Viking guy. Like it was too, I don't know, I just didn't care for them. I thought, yeah, they're all right. Servalan doesn't do anything. Travis doesn't really do a heck of a lot more than her. And it's, but the strength of Jenna's performance in this one and Villa is pretty funny. And of course, the rest of the crew, I'm giving it a 1.5 because I'm a bit of a sucker for the crew of the Blake 7. So I love the characters. Enjoyment factor, I'll give it a 1. It's fine. It's fine. It's Blake 7. My third favorite show of all time. Love it. So grand total of a 6 out of 10 on the space system. So 6 out of 10. Decent. It's kind of a pass. You could do without this one. If only that last 5 minutes was sort of in the last one, then you wouldn't have even needed this one. So there you go. 1 away from the finale. Next episode is Star 1, one of the best episodes ever. So stay tuned for that. If you like the video, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the playlist. That's it. Until next time.